What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Planet podcast. On today's episodes, we'll be going over the major storylines from the NBA, MLB, and of course, the NFL. But first, Alex, let's get to the biggest news across maybe all of sports. LeBron James teasing a decision to retire, but instead, you know what, before we get to it, let me just play the clip real quick. All of that just to end up with this.
Well, everyone's on pins and needles across the country. You ready to go, LeBron? Where's the powder?
Left it at home.
LeBron, fans want to know where you're taking your talents this year. What's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is tough. In this fall, I'm going to be taking my talents to Hennessy VSOP.
VSOP? And this was the conclusion you woke up with this morning?
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
Why?
I feel like it's going to give me the best opportunity to win more at hosting. And not only that, win at signature cocktails, win at having a good time, win at impressing guests, win at making memories, win at making it look easy, win at leaving people wanting more.
LeBron, appreciate it.
I like my decision.
So after seeing that, Alex, obviously, I'm sure that's not the first time you've seen it, but I just wanted to play it for everyone, just in case they've been living under a rock these last couple of days. But what was your initial reaction to seeing the teaser, and then afterwards waking up today and seeing the actual advertisement?
You know, I definitely thought, like everybody else, this was probably the announcement for the retirement and paying homage to the original decision that shook the entire sports world, not just the NBA. But I mean, I don't hate it. I thought it was hilarious. I think watching everyone online rushing to go buy the last Lakers home game was hilarious, and I think they had to have known it was gonna do this. I think everyone knows that LeBron is in the cusp of possibly retiring in the next couple of years. So hearing it this year and like knowing LeBron, he would want to be the one that dictates announcement of his retirement, like so he could get his farewell tour. But I loved it. I think I enjoyed watching all the craziness on Twitter and watching everyone spend $500 to watch Dalton Connect and Cody Williams ball. I know everybody's saying it's a me thing, but this is exactly as a sponsor like Hennessy, this is exactly what you wanted. And I'm gonna go buy that bottle. And I'm not even a LeBron sexual. Like I'm a Henny drinker in general, So I'm like, all right, this created this much uproar. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, dude, this was crazy. It's like because like just a couple days ago before he posted that teaser, I was already thinking of like, I think I'm gonna buy the tickets right now. I feel like this is his final year like number 23 in year 23 in LA, of course, where he wanted to come to retire. And then obviously you see him starting up with his production company. So like, what more perfect way to announce that he's retiring than through his own words, essentially, right? So once I saw the teaser, I was like, I messed up, like, because I had originally saw tickets. They were like about $200 nosebleed. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like I'll buy two, and then I'll buy like two more just to resell later on. And then the teaser comes up, and I'm like, bruh, I messed up. Because once he posted the teaser, came out, and they were like, the cheapest ticket was like $650, I think. And then obviously now that he announced the Henny ad, it's all like tickets have dropped by like about half. They're like about $325, $350-ish. But still, it's all like, it's just crazy because once I saw that, like how you alluded to, the first decision, right, when he left Cleveland to go to Miami, it was all like, there's no way he's really gonna do this again, like it kind of felt like the perfect full circle moment, but in a good way, if you want to say, because obviously back in 2010 when he did that, it was terrible, not only for Cleveland but the whole league itself. Like, how would you go on ESPN, make a special about this? Most people just announce it on SportsCenter or something, But it's all like, once he did this, it's kind of now it's kind of like, it wasn't funny back then, but it's funny. Like, you could joke about it now, right? So that's why I feel like he kind of was making a joke about it. Like, oh, I know exactly how to get these people. But how you also mentioned, perfect marketing for Hennessy. Now, a bunch of people are gonna go. They don't even drink Henny, but guess what? LeBron's one of their sponsors, so they're gonna buy a bottle. So like, what else did you have to say about this one?
I mean, if you felt duped, that's proof that it worked. So 100%, like this was great marketing. And I know everyone on Twitter is saying like, oh, like LeBron's a me guy, but this is exactly what marketing is. They were. So did
Yep.
you actually buy the tickets?
No, I was about to, and then once I
Oh,
saw
thank
that they
God.
went up, no. I was like, once I saw they went up, I was like, all right, whatever. I think it's gonna be his retirement announcement, but if it's not, I'd rather wait until he officially announces it and pay a little extra rather than pay extra and then be duped. Like I'm sure millions of people, or not millions, sorry, there's only 20,000 in crypto, but like thousands of people that went to go buy tickets.
Oh my God. Like FanDuel posted LeBron has
Yeah.
announced, no, or LeBron is, and then really small letters, not retiring, like bigger. So like if you
Mm-hmm.
look at it, you think, oh, LeBron's retiring. It's like
Yeah.
the OJ Simpson book, If I Did It or whatever, and like he put it like in the blade of the knife or something. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is exactly what marketing is for. I love it. If anyone's upset, I'm sorry, but go buy a bottle of Henny.
Yeah. The
Drown
whole
your tears
internet
in
fooled.
Henny.
Literally, yeah, the whole internet fooled. But moving on from the chaos that LeBron started to the chaos in the MLB. Obviously, postseason's around. October's best time of the year, not only for not pretty much for every sport fan, because you got MLB postseason, you got the NBA, NHL coming back. Obviously, you have football. Pretty much all the sports are going right now. But let's focus on the MLB since they're in the postseason. So right now, obviously, we're in the NLDS, ALDS stage. Currently, you have the Dodgers, Brewers, and Blue Jays up 2-0 in their respective series. Obviously, as the time of we're recording, Blue Jays looks like they're about to sweep the Yankees. And then the Mariners and Tigers are also split 1-1, but obviously the Mariners are up as of right now. So what has been the biggest takeaway from the postseason so far?
We'll start off with the hometown with the Dodgers and the Phillies. Phillies are one of those teams when you look at the roster, it's stacked. They have talent all over the board,
Mm-hmm.
and players like Schwarber and Harper. I believe you looked up earlier. They had 2 hits combined in the first 2 games, which you're not going to win very many games when the 2 dudes that you're depending on are struggling. And I mean Trey Turner struggling. Their entire like lineup is underperforming. And it's so bad to the point where Nick Castellanos, their right fielder, has come out and said, like, hey, like the Philly crowd when we're up is like such an asset, but when we're down, it's like the wind is going against us now. And
Yeah.
as anyone knows, there's specific markets that you play in where if you're not doing well, it's tough. And Philly's one of
Yep.
those. And out of the 3 teams, and I said this even before the Blue Jays game started, I think the Phillies have the most talented roster that could ultimately do this comeback. But in terms of it actually happening, I think I saw that there was only 3 teams. 10 MLB teams have come back down 0-2 in the divisional round series, and the last team that did it was the 2017 Yankees. So it's not an easy thing to do. It's like coming back from 3-1.
Yeah.
Like in basketball, it's like it's a tall order, and you got to be damn near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the Phillies, dropping a gem on us tomorrow with Nola, but also Yamamoto's on the mound for us too. I mean, the Dodgers
Yeah.
pitching staff was a huge question mark 3 months ago. You didn't even know
Definitely.
if you could field the full staff, and now we're looking at this, and we got Roki coming out of the bullpen as a closer. We had Tyler Glasnow coming into pitching game 1, which was very smart, obviously, because he would be pitching in the 4th game. Therefore, if he pitched on the first game in relief, he would have enough time to properly prepare for the next start. So I think this is just the riches of LA having such a deep team and having such a strong staff. I mean, some of our 3, 4, 5 guys could be top of the order guys for other MLB clubs. So
Definitely.
yeah, I think unfortunately for the Phillies, I think I don't think they're going to come back. I could see them getting 1, but it's just, I mean, the way the Dodgers are playing, it's beautiful. And shout out to Freddie Freeman for saving Tommy Edmonds' throw. Like he literally just threw it into the ground. And Freddie Freeman, if you look, he stretched his leg out the entire play, like making sure that even as he tried to find the ball and pick it out, he saved it. So that to me was amazing. Oh yeah, let's play it. Let's play it for the.
I was like, yeah, I had it ready to go just in case because I knew you were going to mention it.
I almost spilled
Obviously,
my wine. I was at my boss's. It's a Jewish holiday, and I almost spilt my red wine on their white tablecloth.
Turner to second base. Tommy Edman, low throw. Freddie Freeman with the scoop, and the ball game is over. Oh my goodness! Tommy Edman spiked it in the dirt. Freddie Freeman in that Gold Glove form just saves Game 2 for the Dodgers.
Oh my!
Oh.
I think if you're the Phillies, you watch this play. They were down 4-0. They get right at the doorstep.
Oh, Freddie.
3-4, and then a routine play should have been an error. That picking that play is not easy to keep your foot on the bag and also pick that ball. That was a horrible throw. When things go like this, it's one of the most demoralizing things as a team when it's like not even the things that should go our way are going our way. So I think this is like I said, I think Phillies might get one, but I don't expect them to come back. And then the Cubs were surging coming in. The Brewers, the number one team in the league, everybody assumed that in the beginning of the year the Dodgers were going to have the best record. Ultimately, it was the Brewers who got the 1 seed. They have this pitcher, Mizorowski, 104 miles an hour. Like that guy is like Mason Miller on the Padres. He just has a cannon, and just the way this team has just dismantled this Cubs pitching staff. Like Imanaga, a strong lefty the Cubs have, absolutely like. He got the first couple outs of the inning. He got the first couple outs of the inning, and then completely imploded. And it's just a testament to how locked in these Brewers hitters are. And for them, I'm expecting it to just be a sweep. I don't know how you go down like that in the way they were playing. Because with the Cubs, you have Pete Crow Armstrong and Tucker, blanking on his name, Kyle Tucker, who you're exactly who you're depending on, and obviously they had a very rough couple of months to end the season. And when you have when you're down 0-2, it's like you're asking a lot for a guy mentally to get out of that slump and see your team just completely get dismantled. And then tonight we got Rodon against Toronto, and currently it's 6-3 in the top of the fourth. Yankees are out of here. I want to apologize to Edwin, who is a fan of Yankees and Dodgers. Didn't mean to, call him out, but like, at least you got the Dodgers. But yeah, at
least you got the Broncos win. We'll get to that later.
Yes. The thing with the Yankees too is there's a lot of comments about Aaron Judge and how he kind of like seems to not perform when the lights are the brightest, and routine play in right field, he runs into the wall. And I know people are saying the sun is in your eyes, but it's like if the sun is a factor, put some glasses on. You know what I mean? Like
literally,
it's just everything that can go wrong for this Yankees team is going wrong. Shout out to Schittler, who had an amazing start last series. Kudos to him in a big moment against the Boston Red Sox. But yeah, the Yankees they're done. Kudos to them. Congrats on the World Series participation last year. You won't be again.
Yeah, I mean, like how you alluded to, Judge always shies away when the lights are the brightest. Obviously, in the World Series last year, we saw he dropped a pretty easy catch out in center field that eventually led to that 5th inning comeback. So it's all like it just seems like another year where high expectations, but obviously they can never get the job done. Before we move on, like I also wanted to mention, obviously going back to the home team, Dodgers, it's like they were up 4-1 going into the bottom of the 9th, right? And it's all like you have Roki. He's proven to everyone he should be the closer. But he's proven that he has what it takes to finish a game. So it's all like the fact that, okay, they had 3 runs to spare. That doesn't matter. You're in a playoff game. Why did Dave Roberts go to Trinan over Roki? It was all like, as soon as you saw Trinan warming up, you're all like, dude, like, are you really going to put him in over Roki? Because obviously they had Vesia and Trinan warming up at the same time while Roki was sitting down. And even the commentators were like, what? Like, Roki's not up? Roki's not up? Like, okay, whatever. Maybe they thought Trinan could do it. Like, three runs is a big lead, but not for the Dodger bullpen. Okay, so the fact that like it took them until the final out to finally put Roki in to be like, all right, Trinan already gave up 2. You have 1 out to go, but you have a couple runners on base, and it's all on you now. So it's all like the Roki officially, if he hadn't before in Robert's eyes, he has officially cemented himself as the Dodger closer for this postseason, right? So it's like 100%. Shout out to Freeman, like how you mentioned earlier. He completely saved Tommy's terrible throw. So I don't think Roki or Freeman should ever have to buy beer again in LA. But moving on to our number one sport we usually talk about. Let's go over the major upsets that plagued the NFL in Week 5. I say played because my Eagles were part of them. So
this
obviously,
is not an Eagles podcast, by the way, to our listeners.
Thank you. I was about to ask, I was about to tell you, can you shout out the disclaimer real quick? So obviously, we'll start off Thursday Night Football. We had the Niners, a depleted Niners team, take over SoFi as they normally do, and upset the Rams without obviously a bunch of their top guys. You had obviously quarterback Brock Purdy out. You had Kittle out, Bosa out obviously for the year, and I believe they were without their top 3 receivers amongst others. So what was your reaction when you saw the upset?
I mean, initially going into the game, I thought this was going to be an opportunity for the Rams to just stamp it and kind of move on to the next game. But I mean, watching Mac Jones, I mean, he played with Kendrick Bourne in New England, so they obviously had some rapport already. Watching how Mac Jones played and kind of like the aura farming he was doing when he was kind of doing the Burrow thing where you kind of throw your shoulders out, you know, after a play. Yeah. I mean, I've got to hand it to the 49ers coaching staff because, I mean, we've seen other teams in this league unravel with so many injuries, and they just keep on finding ways to win. Like I like to shout out with the defensive players like I did with Zach Bond a few weeks ago. Fred Warner absolutely shot the gap on that 4th down play and absolutely made Kyron have to shift before he got to the hole he was going to run in. And just this 49ers team is resilient. I mean, they have every reason to lose and every reason to justify the loss because they're hurt, but it was an amazing game. And I know people like, you know, oh, the Rams should have won, but it's like this was the 49ers didn't play like they were down 5 key starters. Like it was an amazing game. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was amazing. Absolutely watched every second of it. It was a great game. Love overtime games that end with some good fashion like that.
They might have been depleted, obviously a bunch of key injuries, but I feel like also having that SoFi takeover that we see every single year with pretty much every single team. But obviously, of course, mainly the 49ers. It's all like I felt like that was kind of like the little bit of a juice that they were able to get to start the game because sure maybe they didn't have any expectations, but guess what? You have a sold out crowd already, like here, ready to see you. So that's like might as well put on a show, right? But yeah, so moving on from Thursday Night Football to a Sunday morning upset. They obviously shout out Edwin. Denver Broncos upset the Eagles. Eagles up 17-3 in the 4th quarter, and a lot of people want to mention, "Oh, the refs didn't call this, didn't call that." I will say, I don't want to play the ref game because obviously there were some penalties that were called that maybe that shouldn't have been. And then you could say at the end of the game on that final, before the Hail Mary attempt, you could say that Goddard, that should have been a PI. It would have put them within the 5-yard line. I will say, obviously, I was pissed off at that, whatever, but I do not want to play the ref blame game because the Eagles were up 14 points in the 4th quarter. It's all like,
absolutely.
How, like, I don't, like, yeah, so I'm not going to use the ref blame game at all. This is 100% on the Eagles. Their play calling was terrible. So it's all like you had so many opportunities to put them away. And it just never, like, even when they were up 14 points, I was like, I just never felt confident. Like the offense was super stagnant, let's just say. So like, what do you have to say about this one?
I mean, the biggest factor I think that absolutely kind of finished the comeback was, and obviously like points wise, it makes total sense, but just the balls to go for 2 instead of tying it.
Yeah.
That completely, because I honestly think if Peyton just hit the PAT, The Eagles just needed to get within field goal range, and then overtime, everything starts again. I think that would have been gone way more in the Eagles' favor, but Sean Payton took the chance, and that ultimately pushed the Eagles to have to, Hail Mary at the end as opposed to just getting field position for a field goal. And that is the biggest key of the game for me, because it's not easy to go for 2 when you're down. You know what I mean? Like, you take the PAT, you take the tie, and you let your defense go out there. No, he said, no, let's go for 2. And they completed it. And it was just a ballsy play. And ultimately that's what won the game. And like I said, it would have the Eagles would have got a field goal, push it to OT. And again, everything starts again. So I think kudos to Sean Payton for doing that. I know he was getting a lot of crap about his play calling these last couple of weeks, but this was absolutely Dan Campbell-ish of big balls. I don't know if you've seen South Park when Randy Marsh would walk around in a wheelbarrow. That's Sean Payton with that call. That was gutsy, and it worked. Kudos to the Broncos. They absolutely took their shot, and they nailed it.
Well, yeah, like how you mentioned the to go for 2 rather than the point after. I was like, okay, they have all the momentum right now. They can just tie it up and call it a day, right? But it's all like once they went for 2, I'm like, okay, like if they really convert this, then it's over pretty much. Obviously, the Eagles still have a chance, but it's like the momentum is just way too much for going in the direction of the Broncos' favor. And then the Eagles' offense is super stagnant. They can't get anything going, so it's like they really need to stop this. And obviously, they convert, and then but I mean, at that point, it's only a 1-point game. Eagles still have a chance to go march down the field and kick a field goal. Obviously, the offense comes up short. Then the Broncos come back, and then there was the intentional grounding call that they took back. I understand the fact that if a receiver is in the vicinity, that they pick it up, but it was just like I believe it was Troutman. I can't remember, but their tight end or receiver was literally going the complete opposite way. So whether he was in the vicinity or not, okay, but it's like you can totally tell that he was not on script. Like they were not on page, and they were going completely the other way. So I felt like that one was like the major, like they shouldn't have picked it up, but obviously whatever. The play continues, and then later in the drive, Eagles have the stop. They're gonna force a longer field goal, and then guess what? Someone you mentioned earlier, Zach Bond. The runner was already tackled. And then Zach Bond comes in with the late hit to the helmet. I'm like, bruh, come on. Like, you, out of everyone, I expect you to be one of the smarter players on this field, on this defense. You have a C on your chest for a reason. And it's all like, you know how to, obviously, you could say it's in the heat of the moment, whatever, but the runner was clearly down. And then Bond comes in, and I'm like, oh, great. They're about to throw a fucking a flag right now. So
yeah,
it was just one of those days where like nothing goes right, I guess, towards the end of the game for them. So for me personally, as an Eagle fan, I just think they needed a loss like this at some point, right? Better now than later, because hopefully this is what helps them kind of turn it around. Like this is we really got to get our shit together, you know?
Yeah.
So anything else you got to say about this one before moving on?
Yeah, and then it was Hurts, Saquon, and was it AJ Brown that had a meeting? Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like you said, nobody wants to lose, but if you can take a loss and kind of help reposition yourself to kind of pioneer, like back on track. Like I think Saquon's definitely a team player. I don't he hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game yet, right? Yeah, and you'll never hear Saquon like complain about that or be a me guy. So I think this is kind of one of those things where him and Hurts and Brown probably just talked and said, hey, like we already have enough pressure from the media not wanting us to win anymore. Let's not add any more pressure to that. But yeah, like I said, great game by the Broncos, and again Zach Bond, who I think is an amazing linebacker, misplay, and it definitely helped carry that drive further. So. Yeah, kudos to Peyton. I wouldn't have gone for 2. When he went for 2, I was like, oh, Eagles are going to win because they're not going to get it.
Yeah, no, he still has his highest so far this year is 88 against the Chiefs. But yeah, kudos to the Broncos. I'm not going to take anything away from them. They deserve the win, and Eagles do better. But moving on to the next one, Sunday Night Football, Patriots over the Bills. Obviously, you had the Stephon Diggs return, but obviously the Bills were undefeated team, or the final undefeated team after the Eagles lost earlier in the day. So how I think this one might have been the biggest shocker out of all of them, not because we don't see the Patriots as like that much inferior in terms of like bottom of the barrel throughout the NFL, but because not only are the Bills Super Bowl favorites, they're also undefeated at this point. Sunday night at your crib, so it's like, what was your reaction to this one?
It almost kind of felt like a team playing with their food. Like there was so many moments where I watched the Bills offense kind of just fizzle out, and it was just interesting because watching how they play. I mean, the Patriots defense did a great job of containing
James Cook
on James Cook, and ultimately, like kind of maybe altered what their plan was. But I didn't really feel like that there was an urgency or that they were really taking this Patriots team serious, because like you said, the Patriots aren't necessarily a bad team. They're a very gritty team. Mike Rabel's doing a great job over there. But yeah, it just felt like they were kind of playing with their food a little bit. And I mean, just kudos to Drake May. I mean, the way he moves around the pocket, creates space to make the throw, even the one where he just barely got out of a sack and got it out there. I mean, when plays are going like that, like you as a team, like the Bills, like you kind of gotta lock in, because again, I think they were the biggest favorites. Like I think they were favored by 7.5. And I mean, I'm just telling you, like watching that game, I mean, this was Stephon Diggs' Super Bowl. Like I've not seen him this animated in any game. And I get it. Like you want to go. I mean, somebody brought up a tweet that was like, oh, they gave you your biggest contract. They made you they helped you become a even better receiver. And then you asked for a trade and they gave it to you. Boo-hoo. And I kind of agree with it, but all receivers kind of have that diva attitude. So it's like revenge game, but I mean, 10 for 146. He hasn't done that all year, really. If I was Drake May and Mike Vrabel, I'd look at Stephon Diggs like, I need you to pretend like you're playing the Bills every week, because we need that energy. We need that number one dog receiver, like skill, Stephon Diggs definitely fell off at the end of his Bills tenure, and I know a lot of people weren't high on him entering this year, but he still has it. It's just, you really got to face your old team to have that motivation to play hard. But that game was crazy. Like I was blown away at how it ended. I mean, a field goal to walk it off. Just kudos to the Patriots. I mean, like I said, Bills played with their food. Patriots made them pay for it.
Just real quick before moving on, like how you mentioned the Drake May throw, I felt like if that would have been Mahomes, that would have been everywhere. Bleacher Report, ESPN, you would have been the ESPN, like they would have been freaking drooling over that play. So once I saw him complete that, like right before the 2-minute warning to Diggs, I was like, okay, like I knew he was good, but it's not like that. That was like a signature moment to take down your rival on the road, and in primetime. That was his first primetime game. So shout out Drake May, shout out Diggs for getting his revenge, and shout out Patriots for getting the upset win and their final time going there to Orchard Park, right?
I believe so. I believe their new stadium opens next year.
Next year, yeah. So and then real quick, last one, Jags over the Chiefs. Obviously, it's crazy because now Jags are 4-1, Chiefs are 2-3, but it's all like you just see the Chiefs name and you assume they're the favorite. So obviously they were in terms of gambling odds, but it's all like, So it was an upset again, according to the books, right? But it's all like the fact that like the Jaguars won. It didn't really surprise me. What was your reaction to this one?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I bet on the Chiefs spread, so I definitely believed, but I wasn't necessarily like thinking. I mean, the Jaguars have had a great season so far, so I think it's just like the Chiefs, quote unquote, aura. Honestly, the media, like for Chiefs fans that say like everybody's turning on Mahomes, the media is who's making us turn against Mahomes. The overglazing that you're talking about, where it's like everything he like. I think you brought it up like 2 weeks ago, where it was like Mahomes did some bare minimum thing, and then they were like, "Oh my God, Mahomes!" Or Mahomes didn't even do anything, and it was like, "Oh, Mahomes is so amazing, he did that." The Chiefs just don't look like they can close a game. Like watching them play, I mean, Kelsey's obviously, I'm not gonna say he's washed, but he's definitely a shell of his former self. He's not at the elite level anymore. I mean, Xavier Worthy. I mean, Thornton seems to be the best receiver out of that team right now. And, Thornton was a throwaway from New England entering the season. So it's just like very interesting to kind of watch this Chiefs team kind of like just lose their edge. And you're about to play Chris Jones. Like Chris Jones, like Nick Bolton, these guys, like, yeah, I mean, like Bolton's having a great year, but it's just like there's no teeth to this defense like there was in previous seasons where like Spagnuolo really had them at their best. It's just they've lost the Patriots aura
Yeah.
of Brady, where like no matter what, like they're always a threat. Like they're just
Yeah.
not doing it this year.
Like how you said, it's hard to close out games, but it's all like that they're not closing out games. Sorry, but I was gonna play this clip because like it's hard to close out games when the quarterback of the opposing team falls twice and your star defensive tackle is out here not even trying.
Now Lawrence goes down, has to get up.
Look at that.
Like as much
all
as he
the
wants to
moves-
cry, it's like look at 95, freaking Chris Jones right there. He doesn't even try. It's like at that point, it's like I get he's far away, but at least make an effort. Like at least try booking it over there, you know, to like act like you're gonna pretend like you can have a chance. It's just like, dude, like the game's on the line right there, and he's just over there watching Trevor Lawrence not only fall once but twice and still stumble his way into the end zone. So it's like it just little plays like that, where whether it's at the beginning of the game or at the end, those are truly what can make a loss a victory, or a victory a loss, you know? So
in that play, for example, if he would have been running from the get-go, right, the play's still going, by the time he would have been in the vicinity, that would have made Lawrence have to adjust his movement, because you're seeing this big guy coming at you from that side. It's going to force you to go to the sideline. Like there's so much opportunity there for him to be able to at least make some like an effort, like to have some effect on the play. And it just, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you see stuff like that and it's like, okay, that's probably why the Chiefs are kind of falling apart at the seams, because they're 2-3, right? Yeah, because they were 1-3 when they faced a Raven. Yeah, they're 2-3, and you have that kind of effort from one of the leaders of your team. It's definitely very surprising. I know everybody wants to see the Chiefs' demise, but watching it how it's happening, it's like very telling of like there's something going on in the locker room. Like they're just not as locked in as they were before. Because I mean, what, 2 years ago, even last year when they were very depleted, they still had some kind of edge to them. And right now, it's just like if the game is close, it's completely open. I mean, a couple years ago, if the game was close in the fourth quarter, you just like don't give Mahomes 30 seconds, he'll make you pay. It's like they just don't have it anymore. And Tyreek Hill's not showing up at the trade deadline anymore. So like, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I think if any team that is currently in a losing record, obviously the Chiefs would be your favorite to be able to turn it around in time for the playoffs, because they have that championship experience, you know. So they have a lot of their players still from their Super Bowl team. So it's like, if anybody can turn it around, it should be the Chiefs under Andy Reid. But I guess that's something we'll have to wait and see as the season goes on. But looking forward to this week's games. We obviously we'll go through them really quick as we wrap it up. Here are our top games of week 6. We have the 49ers at the Buccaneers, the Lions at the Chiefs, Bills at the Falcons, and Bears at Commanders. Obviously, starting off with the first one, 49ers at the Buccaneers. We just saw the Niners come off this big upset against the Rams, and then the Buccaneers get in a shootout with the Seahawks. So what else are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, no, that 49ers Buccaneers game has the makings of one of those last-minute games. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Egbuka is insane. I believe he's the first player of the season who has an octopus. So kudos to him for having that. A lot of people online don't know that octopus means that he caught the tutty and he got the 2-point conversion. It's a cool little stat that like doesn't get talked about enough, but like this is going to be a great game. I believe Purdy's questionable, so he should return. So is Purcell and Jennings, so they might not be at full strength, but have some key starters back. Question, and I'm only posing this because I've seen this dialogue start to happen, and it always happens when a backup comes in and plays well.
Yeah.
Do you think the 49ers should stick with Mac Jones, or do you think they should go back to Purdy?
Honestly, like it just depends, because obviously, like if you have a situation where you have a definite starter and then the backup comes in to do his job and it doesn't look they get the wins, but it doesn't look pretty, I guess, if you want to say, you give it back to the starter, right? But the way Mac Jones has been playing with pretty much the practice squad, it's like he's played pretty well, but I just feel like they have to give it back to Purdy since they just gave him that contract. It's like you're not going to let Mac Jones come in. Like, he's done a great job, obviously. And if it was up to us, I think we would give it to Mac Jones, right? Let him ride it out. But the fact that Purdy just got that big contract, you have to go back to Purdy. Is that where you were leaning, or do you think Mac Jones?
Absolutely, they go back to Purdy. I think the 49ers should fire their medical team and anybody in athletics because, first of all, I don't think Purdy should have even played against the Jaguars because he's not mobile, but he moves well in the pocket. Kind of, he's not going to be like your Lamar's or even Drake May, where you just got that edge of getting around everybody. But I feel like with Nick Bosa, the trainer telling him he can go back in the game. He said he wasn't comfortable, and turns out he had a torn ACL. I think they brought Purdy in too soon. I think you should just enjoy the riches of your depth and let Mac Jones continue to start until Brock Purdy's 100%. You're not doing your franchise any favors by putting your quarterback with the turf toe on the field. I don't think it's a quarterback controversy. Kudos to Mac Jones. I know like everybody's saying like, oh, if the 49ers went with Mac Jones initially instead of Trey Lance, Purdy would have never been a thing, but Purdy absolutely earned that contract. Let your starters get healthy. You have a good backup. Let it ride like that. That's how it works. That's what I think. But yeah, no, 49ers medical staff needs to be investigated.
No, yeah, I agree with you. That's why, like, if they had given the contract to Purdy, you still kind of have to go back to Purdy because he's taking them to the Super Bowl and all that. But I feel like the contract is what solidifies the fact that they will go back to Purdy. But moving on to the next game, Lions at Chiefs. Obviously, Lions, one of the hottest teams right now, 4-1 after that stinker week 1. They've been on a roll against a Chiefs 2-3 team that is obviously looking like they're in poor form. What's the main thing that you're looking forward to in this one?
In this game, I'm looking forward to the Chiefs running the damn ball. Do you know who leads the Chiefs in rushing?
Mahomes.
Mahomes leads the Chiefs in rushing, 190 yards entering week 6.
Yeah, once you asked that, I was like, it can't be one of the running backs if you're asking that right now.
Yeah, it's insane. And then Thornton is a leading receiver, which Sleeper updated. I hate seeing that he's supposed to be scoring 3.4 points. We all know he's not going to score 3.4 points. Stop making my predicted lineup look trash. This is Sleeper, a prime.
They have him on his wave. Whoever's running Sleeper, they have him on their roster. That's why they're trying to help themselves out.
Exactly. No, man, this is like the perfect bounce back spot for the Chiefs. I just don't believe in it. It's so hard after watching these games to have any confidence in the Chiefs. Like this, they have to have a bounce back game against the Lions. And again, it's tough that you're going against such a tough offensive team. Yeah. But like if they don't, I feel like there's a hole in the armor and everyone sees it. And right now they are playing at home, but Chiefs are favored by 2.5 points right now, which to me is insane. They should be dogs.
Chiefs are favored. I'm smashing that Lions money line though.
100%. Like until the Chiefs prove to me that Mahomes made the deal with the devil, like until they prove that they did the ritual again, like I have to lean Lions. Like this team is just it's crazy. And the only reason they're in this conversation is because they're the Chiefs, not because of what they did this season. Like this perfect representation of name brand as opposed to production. But Sunday night in Arrowhead, nut up or shut up.
But not definitely. It's like when you have Mahomes, I'm not going to discredit him. Obviously, he's a great quarterback. So when you have someone like him running your offense, you have a chance. But the final 2 games that we're looking forward to this week, both Monday Night Football games, Bills at Falcons. Are we going to see the Bills bounce back from their upset? Will the Falcons build off their previous win before they went into the bye? And then obviously in the Bears game, we have the top 2 picks from the 24 draft. We have Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels scoring off once again. Obviously last year we saw that Hail Mary in last year's matchup. So out of these 2, what are you looking forward to?
I'm definitely looking at Michael Penix and seeing how he performs. Obviously, your first round pick, you're touted to lead this franchise to the promised land, and he's shown some bright spots, but he's absolutely shown, his weaknesses. And I feel like this is a big game for him and building the confidence, because even though a lot of us believe that Kirk Cousins is washed, he's still behind him. And, he went in the game against the Panthers, I believe, probably for safety or maybe not. So big game for Michael Penix, 100%. And then that Commanders and Bears game, I'm excited for that game. I feel like we're going to see some fireworks. I hope Caleb and Jaden give us a show, and I hope Terry McLaurin is able to play. I know he missed the last 2 weeks, but Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. For anybody who does dynasty football, like if everyone went with Caleb, and then your what's it called? Your second place, you end up getting Jaden Daniels, and so far it looks like Jaden Daniels is the better player. But we'll see. I'm excited to see how the season continues for Caleb Williams. I still believe in him, and we had this conversation during the rookie draft. I have to apologize to Roma Dunze. I 100% thought Luther Burden was going to come in and take your spot. I was wrong. DJ Moore is very minimally used, which is crazy. Shout out to Rome. You absolutely proved me wrong already. 5 weeks into the season, you proved me wrong already. I'm a believer. So kudos to that deep receiving room. But man, I was so wrong.
It's okay. We're all wrong every once in a while. It's as long as you can admit to yourself, you can move on. Exactly. But that's all we have for this episode. Anything you want to say before we take off?
AFC North runs through Pittsburgh. The Ravens are 1-4, and they do have a cakewalk after their bye week with Chicago, and not a cakewalk. Let me not say that, but Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, and New York, and then Bengals. So they have winnable matchups coming up.
Yeah.
And then they end the season with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay, and then Pittsburgh in Week 18. So to me, I think if you're the Ravens, you're kind of thinking about next year. It's when you go down, you're most likely going to go down 1-5 entering your bye week. If anyone can do it, I believe in Lamar, but it's looked rough there, and injuries have completely depleted this defense. So if you're a Ravens fan, light up that candle with Jesus on it and just pray that everything works out. But it is dark and murky.
Yeah, it's hard to win when your defense has allowed 177 points throughout the first 5 weeks. If you want to put it into simpler terms, that's 35 points per game. Imagine that. You have to, not only do you give up 35, but you have to score 36 points every single game just to have a chance. So I'm like, hey, draw this one up already. But it's over. Baltimore, time to fire Harbaugh, time to fire your defense coordinator, and just look forward to next season. Let Lamar rest. He deserves it.
2 more quick things, only because a little relevant. Joe Flacco traded to the Bengals. He went to sleep 1-4, woke up. He went to sleep 1-4, woke up 2-3. Don't know why Jameis wasn't called, or they didn't offer something for Jameis, because their season's cooked too. And the Yankees heard me chirping because they tied it up 6-6.
All right, whatever, guys. Time to wrap it up. We're gonna go finish watching this one. But that's it for this episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to follow us on social media at Sports Planet Pod. And don't forget, new episodes drop every Wednesday. So we'll catch you guys next week for another episode of the Sports Planet Podcast.